so in different forms as well. So documentaries, fiction, animation. We also have this music video program. So I think you can definitely find something for yourself as well. So today actually is our third live Q&A, and the section of the program today is called Art of Resilience. We chose this title because all of the movies are depicting kind of challenging life circumstances for artists, and also trying to find or highlight where and how they find their resilience within this chaos, you know, that's going on, that's going around in the world. So we just screened those movies on our YouTube channel an hour ago, but don't worry if you haven't watched them, you can always go back, as they're going to be available online until the end of the festival, so 22nd of November. Okay, so we have some authors here with us as well. Actually, 4 of them. We have Matilda from Mad in England, we have Nicolas from Napoli Shooting, and we have Elena and Stella, or I think she's joining us soon, from movie Invisible. So they're gonna introduce themselves in just a bit, but before we start, I would just like to, give a note to our viewers. If you have any questions, comments, write us on Facebook and we will try our best to answer them. And a note to you, like our guests, feel free to stop, interrupt this discussion at any point. Ask questions also to each other. I mean, you know, it's called discussion for a reason. And now I'm gonna kind of hand my mic to the other Team Luksuz partners in crime with me today. So Natasha and Leia, who are gonna be leading this Q&A. So guys, take it away.
Hi, welcome.
Hi everyone.
First, I'm Leia. And
I'm Natasha, and we're both volunteers here in Luksuz. I've been here since January, and
I came 2 months ago. So.
And I'm from England, and we're both doing our European Solidarity Corps service here. So we are both new filmmakers, and we'll be leading this discussion tonight.
Let's just go to the real characters here.
So first we will ask each filmmaker just to introduce themselves to our audience, and everyone else, everyone else in the chat, your background in film and how you came about making this movie that we screened tonight. So first we can go to Elena.
Hi, I'm Elena. I'm from Italy, and I studied media design and multimedia arts. I graduated last year, and then after that I joined Luksuz Produkcija, and I made this video with with 2 other colleagues and friends from Luksuz, Invisible. So it's not just my project, but it's our project, and Stella is one of the other author. And it was made, I mean, it was filmed in January this year, so January 2020, just before lockdown, and that we had the chance to travel at least in one other country in the Balkans, in Serbia, in Belgrade. And I don't know, I had to introduce myself, right, and the project. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much, Elena. So it makes sense to go on to Stella. Hi, Stella.
Hi, I'm not sure about the sound. I lost my headphones today, so okay, good. I'm Stella from Germany, and I did also an EVS voluntary service last year. It ended when Corona started, and Elena talked already about the project. It was a lot of fun, and it took a bit time to finish it because of all the troubles, but now it's done.
Cool. So Mathilde, we can go over to you.
Hi, I am Mathilde. I'm also from Italy, and I'm actually studying in England now, in London. And actually, Natasha, I believe we did a class together 2 years ago, and that's where I had the opportunity to film this short documentary that you screened before. And it wasn't only my creation, it was also with another friend. She couldn't make it tonight, but of course she's really happy that it has been shown before. And actually it's not as recent as your film, Elena and Sedla. It's a bit older, but it was the only creation that I could submit for the festival as Corona happened, of course. What could I say? Actually, I'm not a filmmaker, but I really hope that after my degree in London, I'm going to be able to go on and continue my passion, because I really want to become a filmmaker, actually. But let's see how it goes. Hopefully, I'm going to manage to do that.
Awesome, great. Thank you so much for sharing. Nicolas?
Do you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I'm Nicolas, I'm from France, and I participate in a workshop documentary with Luksuz. And yeah, I'm doing documentary, and the movie that was screened tonight, I made it when I was doing an internship in Rome. And yeah, I'm doing documentary. What else to say?
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for introducing yourselves. First, we will focus on Mad in England, and then we'll move over to the other films. So my first question is for you, Mathilde. So can you tell me a little bit about what Carrie, the protagonist of your movie, taught you about the benefits art can bring to those who are struggling to maintain some kind of control in their life?
Well, that's an interesting question, actually, because since she was young, she had those mental health problems, and she didn't really specify what it was, but I think it was, I don't know, like she struggled with everyday challenges, and art for her was the only solution to actually solve these problems, or not solve them, but at least face them every day. And she, like in the documentary, she says the first time she tried mosaics and like mosaicing her house or other small locations, she instantly loved it, and she felt like a profound connection with art and the artistic and craft process. So for her, and she thinks also for every single person alive in this world, she told me, I mean, when we were not filming, she told me that she believes that craft and art especially is one of, or maybe also like one of the only ways that people can I don't know, like can feel good in everyday life. It's a way really to relax and face everyday challenges. And she, especially with her mental health problems and her family difficulties, she found a way to face her challenges through art and craft.
Thank you so much. And on that note, what do you think is particular about mosaics, and in particular mosaicing one's house? Like, why did that attract you to make this film, and what particular benefits do you think that brought to Carrie's life?
I think that as a form of art, mosaics is really practical. So in that sense, one can forget about problems and whatever happens in one's life, because it's so, like, she was so concentrated in the process, actually moving her hands and like cutting pieces of mosaic. So it was really practical, and in that way I think it helped her. And we thought with the other friend that I made the film with, that the fact that she covered her house in mosaics was absolutely amazing, because we never saw that anywhere. So it was fun, because her house was like super colorful in the middle of like a whole neighborhood with only dark gray and like white houses. It was really fun to see the contrast, and that's what attracted us to actually make the short documentary on her, about her life.
Then we would like to know, how did you actually meet her? What was the development of your relationship?
That's a good question. My friend, actually, her name is Pauline, so that you know. She found her on Time Out magazine, and she saw her picture and the short description of her project, like regarding her house and mosaics. And she was like, "Oh, that's super interesting. What do you think, Mathilde?" And I was like, "That's really interesting. Can you contact her?" So she sent her an email saying, "Look, we're two students. We want to make a short documentary about your relation to art and how it helped you through your mental health problems." And she said yes. She answered really fast, and she said yes. So the way that we met her was we went. She actually lived outside of London. We went to her house and we talked with her. We first met her like not filming and anything, and then we agreed on a few dates where she could tell us about her life and her artistic process, and that's it. She was really nice.
Yeah, we could see it in the movie that she has a really warm energy.
Yeah, and that's a really good hint for anyone that's looking for documentary subjects to search the sites like Time Out, you know, when they talk about interesting things that you wouldn't expect in London or wherever you're living. And yeah, it's a great resource, and it's amazing to pick something that you find interesting as well, so others will want to watch it. So in that case, if we move on to Nicolas with Napoli shooting.
Yeah, hi.
Hello.
Yeah, well, just to start off with some basic questions, like what is your relationship with the city, with Napoli, and actually with Italy also, because you're not Italian, as I think, right? And how did you actually approach to your character?
Okay. Yeah, I've been living in Italy twice. One for a thesis project when I was studying geography, and last year I came back for an internship. So my relation with Italy is like, I don't know how to say that, but I've been living there and also doing researches. And first I was into sociology, geography thesis, and then this is where I realized I wanted to do a documentary. So when I come back 4 years later, it was like for an internship in documentary. So it was like great to be back with the knowledge of shooting and editing and filmmaking. And Naples always has been a city I wanted to shoot, like to take some photos, because every 2 streets something happens, and there's a lot of magic there, and something I can't really explain. So I wanted to come back with a camera to figure out if I managed to explain what I feel with this city. So when I was doing this internship, Paolo, who I was working with, gave me a camera. Now, first I went to Naples with the idea to find something, some interesting character that I could shoot. And the first idea was to find at least 3 or 4 characters that they would, their stories would like crisscross, and to tell something about Naples with these characters. And how I met Dario, it was in the little place where we played that is in the movie. I was here with some friends, and I was in Naples just for some days, and basically I was like trying to find someone to shoot, to someone that will have something to say, and he just started to play at the next table and tell to the people he was playing with, I want a documentary about myself. And like I was like, did I really hear that? And then I told him, I'm doing documentary, let's do this. And first he thought I was joking. Then we said, okay, we finish our games, and then we speak about this. And the first thing he told me after was, I'm shooting the seagulls. So I was like, okay, great, let's do the documentary. And I was thinking someone that says I want a documentary about myself surely has something to say. So I told him, okay, I be prepared, and next month I come back with a camera. That's what I did, basically.
So it happened while you were playing this board game.
Yeah, exactly.
How is it called? Because it's the first time that I saw a game like that, and it was quite interesting to watch it.
It's Karom.
Karom.
Yeah, and it's Sri Lankese. Like there's a, I think Naples is the where the Sri Lankese immigration is more in Naples. Like there's a lot of people, and this little place is really fun to play and have a drink. So it's cool.
Okay, if we continue with you, we can also address now the problem that the film is addressing, and it's the change of the labor law in Italy, right? Mm-hmm. So the movie is also, I assume, addressing the problem of reddito di cittadinanza, or the universal basic income. So at this point, I welcome also the two Italian participants to comment on that. So yeah, if you can explain us actually what is changing, how those changes will affect Dario's life.
Yeah, actually, it's not. I'm not sure I could call it the labor law. It's more like an income and a new law. Actually, my main idea when I did the movie was not about the law, but the 5 days I spent with Dario when we were shooting, he was only thinking about this like every day, because it was the moment that happened. And it's like a mess because it prevents people from doing undecorated work. And Naples is a city where there is a lot of undecorated work. So everybody wanted this new income that will come, except Dario, because he would see this as kind of a control on his work and on his life. And actually, it was his brother that wanted him to get this income. So it's like a mess, and there is also this discussion with the other character where actually nobody knows about what really this law is about. Mm-hmm. So my idea was not to explain what this law is about, because I didn't understand either, but it affected Dario's life somehow, because he was afraid he could not work anymore, like basically putting a table in the middle of the street and selling things without any decorated work. I don't know if it was clear or not.
Yeah. Well, okay, at this point, we can just stop for a moment if somebody else has a comment to make or a question.
I don't know if the three Italians have something to say about reddito di cittadinanza, which is the new law in
Okay, if neither of the other girls want to say anything about this, I mean, you covered the topic very clearly, so I think you did a good job. So in that case, we can move on to the, Mathilde, did you want to say something?
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay, sorry. I thought that you wanted to. No problems. So yeah, we move on to our third film of the evening, and with two very international ladies from an international team of German, Italian, and Spanish, all meeting together in Slovenia and going to Serbia. So on that note, I wanted to ask you, why are artists, in your opinion, invisible in Serbia? And how does this compare to your own country and some of the other artists that have been represented tonight? So we have England, Italy, and yeah, you can talk about your own experiences from home. So either of you can start.
Oh, I can start, but can you repeat the question?
Okay, so why, in your opinion, are artists invisible in Serbia?
Okay.
And because this is the title of the movie and the last line of the movie. And how does this compare to your own country and maybe some of the other artists that you've seen represented in the films today?
Okay, well, I think that it's pretty evident that in Serbia the conditions of artists are very related to the political and economical environment, but mainly I would say from what we understood from the political environment, because it's the politician who decides how much money to give to culture, how much to give into culture, and it's not enough. Like it's not the artists are not considered enough by the state, by the government itself. And so that's why they are invisible, and especially if they criticize their country, or anyway if they do something related to their country, they cannot make any kind of money out of that. And so this means that in the, I mean, as far as we understood, that in the state itself there is a lot of things that are not right and they are not clear, like corruption. So that's why. And compared to my country, of course, being an artist and living from your art is not easy. It's not an easy job. You have to do a lot of previous work, because of course when you start approaching that, you can everything seems so like already given to you, but when you start working on it, it's you start facing reality, and you see that it's not easy to live from your art. But working in artistic places or spaces or companies in I would say that in a country like Italy is possible, especially in the north, of course, maybe more in the north than in the south, but even in the south, cultural centers are pretty present. And so compared to Serbia, of course, the situation is way better, even though, okay, every country has its own problems, but compared to Serbia, it's totally different story.
Okay, thank you so much. Stella, if you want to continue on this question.
I can't add so much, but yeah, as Elena said already, it's a political and money problem. And of course, countries like our countries, Germany, Spain, Italy, they're rich, and of course there's a lot of money. And yeah, maybe being an artist is never easy, but yeah, you get help from the government, from the country. And in Serbia, yeah, it's still a problem. So yeah, but Elena said good things already, so.
Awesome, thank you so much, girls. The next question that I would ask would be, why did you guys decide to go to Belgrade to film these artists? What was your motivation to go there?
Actually, the first reason was yeah, because there's this artist Marina Abramovic from Serbia, and I think, or at least for me, she's the only person or the only thing I know from Serbia. So I don't know, we talked about the country, about this exhibition, which was also very interesting. And I think we all realized that we don't know a lot about this country except this one artist and nothing else. So yeah, we had the idea to go there and to meet some artists, to get to know more this country and people from there.
And are you still?
Can I add
go Elena? Yeah.
Because in general, I mean, it's something that I've realized a lot when I moved to Slovenia first, that from these central European countries like Italy, like Germany, like France, we don't know anything about the Balkans, or anyway, we know very, very little things. We know maybe stereotypes, but very big stereotypes, but we don't know anything about people, or how's the political or economical situation, where these countries even are geographically. And I realized this when I moved to Slovenia, and then going a little bit deeper on the Balkans in general, then Serbia and so on came along. And I'm really sorry that because of this corona, I couldn't manage to go to other countries in the Balkans. But okay, I definitely will in the future. So yeah, I just wanted to say this, that it's a critique with Italy, France, Germany, with all the Central European countries that are too much Europe centered.
Can I just say one thing?
Of course.
Related to what you're saying, Elena, I don't know where you come from in Italy.
Yeah.
But I'm from Trieste.
Okay.
So
It's
super relevant. No, it's really relevant because this summer I went to Slovenia because it's really like half an hour car, not even. And I realized what you're saying. Like, we went there, we could speak Italian because everybody understood and knew how to speak so many languages. And then I don't even know one word in Slovenian, like not even one. So it's super relevant what you're saying. It's really, really like interesting and a little like
bad. Embarrassing. Yeah, it's embarrassing.
Well, but you're putting the Balkans and other countries on the map, so
I love Slovenia. I love Serbia. So please go.
Well, I wanted to ask you next whether you're still in contact with your characters. Do you know what happened with their art during the pandemic?
I'm following 2 of them on Instagram. That's how I don't know, I can see a bit the things they're doing. But that's how I'm in contact with the most of people. So
I know maybe Kia is even watching. I don't know, but Kia, we are friends on Facebook, and I know that she's very active she's politically active. So in this sense, and she's also a friend of Sasha. I mean, she knows Sasha and her know each other.
For information for everyone watching who doesn't know who Sasha is.
Okay.
Sasha is our sort of our mentor coordinator. She works here at Luksuz. She's been here for 5 years. She was a volunteer from Belarus. From Belarus, and she's kind of put you guys in contact with these artists, as far as I'm aware.
With Kia.
With Kia,
And I hope she's watching.
And now that you mentioned Kia, I remembered from your film that at one point she says that art releases her from this obsessive or compulsive thoughts that she has. So how can you relate to that? How do you see this comment?
Well, I think that's the role of art in general. Art is personal, and it's what it's I don't know. Art in everything is art. Everything that doesn't need to be explained, but just makes us feel better. And when we can also communicate something with it to others, then it's a plus. But I think that the first thing about art is that it should let us free, it's like going to the gym, going out for a run.
Very, very true. I think it's a healing, therapeutic process for many people, and we have seen that in many of the films screened tonight.
Sorry guys, if I could just jump in real quick. As we're talking about art and the artistic expression, I was wondering, I have a question actually for all of you. how do you as artists, feel yourself? Because in comparison to your characters, who are also, artists, in a way, did like working with them clarify anything about your path as an artist, or maybe you got some extra insights you didn't have before?
I can start saying that I don't feel like I'm an artist. Once, I mean, like that. I don't feel. I feel the same way. No, I feel this, that I'm an artist in the same way that we are all artists in a way. But this because living because being an artist involves a lot of stuff inside. It doesn't just involve the art itself, like, I don't know, drawing, but it involves the idea that's behind the message that you want to give to others. And of course, meeting, I think that for people that create stuff in general, so as creators, it's very, very important to always keep your mind going, like communicating and seeing what other people are doing, and always keep your mind trained in every field, not just in what you, like, let's say, specify. Because as we see, I mean, maybe videos and films are the ones that can put more things together, because in a video you can put a painting, you can put a picture. Okay, it's not like touching something, so that's what lacks in videos, but it could be like compared to something that in which you can see multiple forms of arts. And I think that we should, meeting people like Kia for me has been super, super, super important. And because you can see with Kia how she creates, let's say, another character when she's performing, so you can see that the division between the person and the artist.
And what do you, or did you take out of this? I mean, in what way this can help you as a filmmaker,
I think for me personally, to be more myself, and to like not give a shit about other people's opinion, and do what I like and what I feel I like, that works for me. And then about like being known and having, let's say, a platform where to perform is another thing, is another story. But meeting people like her, I think it's almost fundamental for people that are not used to be in touch with this kind of artists. I don't know about Stella.
Yeah, I just wanted to say thanks for sharing, and if Kia is watching, see.
I really hope.
Yeah, be resilient about your work, because it always influences someone. And also the same question, I actually am interested in opinions of others as well. But just so you know, by an artist, I actually meant your, like Elena said, your artistic expression, in your case, filmmaking, or you as a filmmaker. So I don't know, we can go to Stella now, yeah, because you were.
For me, I don't know, it was also extremely inspiring to talk to the three Alexander, Dusan, and Kia. And I don't know, because of course we talked much more than what you can see in the video. So yeah, I don't know, I took a lot out of that. Also because I started in art school, so a lot of things they told about, I could also see in myself or in the future. So it was really helpful, everything they said. Yeah.
But are you hopeful about your future? I mean, how are you hopeful about your future? Because you also saw their struggles, you know, and they talked about it.
Yeah, no, I guess I'm a quite optimistic person, so I'm always hopeful. And of course, I'm also living in a different country. You also, of course, I also have that in mind. But yeah, I don't know. It's also a bit scary, maybe the future, but yeah, it was motivating to see them, how they survive and that they can survive. So, well, I will see.
Yeah, but let's stay with optimistic. I mean, it's the best way. If we can choose one word, why not this one, right? Okay, and then Matilda, what do you think about this?
I don't really consider myself an artist or filmmaker yet, because of course I'm still a student and I'm in my last year. So I'm hoping to become one, to become a filmmaker after my degree, after my studies, when I'm like older. So that's already like, it has to be established. But then again, like during the two films, the two short documentaries that I made with my friend, in both of them, so the one with Carrie Reicher, the one that has been shown now, and another one, they were both with an artist that like they live through their art. And what that taught me is, like, first of all, in a sense, people, like some artists are artists because they need it, because it's like you said, Natasha, before, it's like therapeutic, and it's for them, it's necessary in their daily life. So that was interesting, because for me, of course, as a beginner, it's like a passion that I want to pursue. It's an interest, like a strong interest and strong motivation, like a passion. But for them, it's a necessity. So that was really interesting to see. And second of all, not about the artists themselves, but all the process of filmmaking, documentary filmmaking, taught me that you cannot just take your camera and then invent your questions and then go there and then just be like, okay, no preparation at all. The only thing I want to do is like film you, answer my question, and that's it. I can go, you know. It's not that at all. And I understood that because the movie, I mean, the short documentary that we made with my friend on Carrie Reichert was our second. So we didn't have experience, but like we knew how to behave a little with the artists. And we realized that to make a documentary, there's so much work before. It's insane. Like even for us, two students who just completed the documentary filmmaking module at university, you know, it's something really basic, like beginner level. You need to prepare so much and need to establish a relationship with the person you're interviewing. Otherwise, you're never going to get anything out of what you ask, out of what they say. And like your documentary will feel flat. Like, I don't know how to explain. So that, I think that's the main thing I learned from the documentary filmmaking process, that you really need to establish and get to know not your character, because it's not a feature film, but the person you're actually engaging and communicating with. And that for me was the most important thing ever. So yeah.
So if I might jump into what you just said, actually, now that you mentioned working with your characters, getting to know them, I'm actually interested, what do you think, or what were, in your case, the main challenges when you were working with the character that might experience some stigma in the society, you know, because she mentioned that she had some health problems, so to say. So how did you approach those obstacles to overcome them?
Well, the good thing with Carrie was that she was really extremely open about her mental health problems, because as she says in the documentary, for her, it's like a healthy response to the world like we live in. So she said that was almost easier for us students to approach her, because she was really open about it. She didn't consider it a problem. She just said, she used the word problem because it's easier to understand for everyone. But for her, it wasn't problematic in a sense. And although her family was really like, I don't know how to say that in English, but for her family, she was a problematic person So that's why she didn't get the house that she wanted to live in, or like she had many problems with her family and like brothers and sisters and everything. But since she didn't really consider that as an obstacle in her life, with us, she was really open about it. And for us, it was a luck, as in we were lucky to meet someone who was open about it, definitely.
And I'm gonna jump in again. So has this, her attitude, towards her mental illness and stuff, has this shifted your perspective on mental health in general in any way? And if so, how?
That's super interesting. I never really thought about it. Of course, it shifted in a way because I understood that even though people might have mental, I wouldn't say issues, but like mental difficulties perhaps, caused by, I don't know, like family backgrounds or family history or whatever. It doesn't mean that this is gonna stick with them or be like have a super strong and impact on their future life. I mean, of course, she based her art on like on her mental health issues because she wanted to cure herself, but it doesn't mean that she's an insane person, like it doesn't mean that she cannot cope with life. She just found her way, and like in a way, yes, it changed my perspective now that you ask, because it means that it shouldn't be considered a problem in our society. Like, you wouldn't say that. So yeah, it shifted my perspective, and it made me feel less strongly about mental health issues, as in they're not really something bad that you need absolutely to cure, like it's something that can happen to literally everyone. So yeah, that shifted my perspective.
Yeah, or as she said, you have to be insane not to be insane.
Exactly. Exactly.
So thank you for making this movie in the first place, so more people can maybe shift their perspective on this issue as well. I just want to jump back to Nicolas, just to finish this circle of this question of how your character in your film has impacted your perspective on being an artist or filmmaker.
Yeah, I think in the movie I see myself in Dario. Like he's filming Napoli, and he's taking pictures of Naples and trying to live his passion with this. And I'm trying to film Naples through him, filming him. So, and professionally, I feel the same. Like I want to live from my passion, but at what cost? I mean, I don't know. I'm still struggling with it. And the other question was if I'm still in contact with him, and actually he's just telling me that he's still in the streets where he sells the pictures, and someone just recognized him from the movie, told me like that he saw, and someone came to the place he's selling his movie to tell him that actually. So it's funny. And, yeah.
So more people will buy his photos, hopefully.
Yeah.
And have you what was his reaction on when seeing your movie? Has he?
He was happy. I mean, the day I finished it, on the next day, because I edited it in Rome, I went on the next day in Naples to screen it to some bar, like it was last year when it was possible to go to the bar, and he liked it. Yeah. He didn't say much about it, but he was happy to tell everyone. Like he was talking to everyone in the city center of Naples. Everyone he was crossing by, he told him. He was always saying, "Come to see the movie. Come see the movie." Now the movie is on the internet, so he gives the link to the people, and it's great.
That's a good sign for sure, yeah. And Elena, do you maybe have any feedback from Kia that you mentioned her before? about like the about your movie? And
No, I don't know, honestly. I really don't know. Maybe Stella, or maybe Lua. I have no idea.
Kia, if you're watching, let her know.
No, because actually, I mean, because it's very, very recent that we finished it, you know. And I personally, I wasn't in contact with Kia, with Alexander Dushan, so that's why I'm asking Stella and the other author, which is watching us, but it's not in the call. Lua, because she's sick.
Lua, get better soon.
Ciao, Lua.
Ciao, Lua. But sorry, Leia and Natasha, do you have any extra questions?
Oh yeah, we have lots of questions right here. Yeah. I mean, Nicola, you're talking about the suffering artist, and I noticed that all of your films tonight, they all represent this archetype of the suffering artist in some way. And I wanted to ask, to what extent do you guys think that suffering is important to art? And do you think that your characters are suffering because they are artists, or are they artists because they are suffering? So anyone who wants to answer that question, you can go ahead.
If I can start.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to answer the second question first, and then can you repeat the first one? Because for Carrie especially, I think the answer to your second question is she is artist because she was suffering. I mean, maybe that's not the only reason why, but that's part of the reason. And the first question was?
The question was like, to what extent is suffering important to art? Like, okay, to reveal some kind of suffering in yourself, do you need to go through some kind of universal human pain or something to be able to express this?
Well, I would say yes, because Carrie clearly showed it to us. Of course, there can be many artists who want to express their view of whatever topic they want to talk about, or draw, or paint, or make music about. In a way, maybe, like everything is relative, so maybe a small, really little thing can be very painful for someone and not for us, like for other people. So I guess the answer to your question is yes, pain is necessary, but then again, maybe I'm not going to see someone's pain as pain for me. So yeah.
Okay, maybe Nicola, do you maybe have a answer for your character in particular?
If pain is necessary to be an artist, you say?
Yes, and do you think that your character is maybe is an artist because he is suffering, or like the suffering kind of shapes his art in some way?
I think your life shapes your human being and what you want to do with art. I think first you have to have things to say, then it depends on the art you're making. I don't know. I think you mean especially about my character, about Darren.
Yeah, so all of the films tonight in some way represented artists that are suffering for whatever reason. And I wanted to ask you, like, to what extent your character is, suffering because he is an artist, because of the political and economic troubles that come with supporting yourself of art.
Yes, of course, it's not an easy job somehow. Like he's selling it in the streets, but at the same time, it's what he wants to do. He knows that's what he likes, and so at the same time, he wants to do this because he doesn't want another work. And sometimes I feel the same. So Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's, there's troubles that come with being an artist, but it's worth it if that's what, like Mathilde said earlier, like you feel like you have to do art, otherwise it's a necessity in your life, So
Yeah.
it brings some solace as well as some troubles, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe Elena and Stella, do you have anything to say?
No, I personally think that you don't have to suffer to be an artist. It's just a different type. It depends on the type of art, because the art is everything. Everything we create, as I said before, I think everything we create can be considered art. It just depends of what the art is talking about and communicating. But this doesn't mean that the person that creates that must suffer. It depends on the type of art. It really depends on the type of art and the type of communication that's behind it. So what do you want to communicate, or what's the idea behind it? Because it's like, for example, maybe the artists that we filmed are suffering, but it's not that we were suffering while we were filming, but in a way we are artists as well, because we made a film about them, so just in this little comparison, I think it can be said that it's not mandatory to suffer to be an artist, but it's mandatory to be sensitive. Of course, if you're not sensitive and you're not able to empathize, you're not able to care about other people, or to think, or to to ponder stuff, or you're wanting to know stuff, then I think it's kind of hard to be an artist. I think it's hard to be an artist and be cold or with a wall in front of you. But it's also, it's in a way, but it's also true that art maybe the most I think the most truthful art comes from no, not most truthful, but that the art that comes from struggle is more pure, in the way that sometimes it's not given, it's not there's no money behind it. So this can be said about the struggle, I think. But in general, to answer your question, no, I don't think that.
Okay, so maybe we don't need to necessarily suffer, but we need to be sensitive towards the others suffering. Okay. Yeah. I think Shrivelin wants to say something. Mm-hmm.
You can see me like so on the topic of wanting to know that Elena mentioned, I have something that Elena and Stella would love to know, because some live breaking news from our comments. So Lua is actually watching, and we're, she's getting better by the minute. And she said that Dusan and Alexander received the link today, so they will give some comments and their opinions as soon as they watch it. So I guess you guys can.
Okay, great.
And also, yeah.
Sorry. I was going to say that Mathilde has mentioned that, that's what you're going to say, Stella? Yeah, that she needs to leave soon. So Mathilde, if you have time for one more question, is that okay? Or do you need to leave?
Of course.
Okay, so my question was, obviously we both studied, for anyone that doesn't know, Mathilde mentioned earlier, we studied ethnographic filmmaking together at UCL. But this was not our only studies. We also studied a variety of other subjects. And I wanted to ask you how filmmaking, you found you were able to fit filmmaking into your wider studies, and what are the benefits you think of approaching film with this anthropological eye?
Well, I don't know if I really managed to fit filmmaking within my degree, as in, I don't know if it's really related to the other modules I'm doing, because I'm mainly doing economics and I did some political studies modules. But now that I actually think about it, sorry, my answer is going to be changed a little, because this year I took I'm doing behavioral economics, and in a sense, it's a little related to document ethnographic filmmaking, because there is this psychological and anthropological side to it. So I would say that behavioral economics is one of the few modules that I did that's actually related to the documentary filmmaking. But in a way, I have never really tried to fit documentary within my degree, because I feel like it's the only thing I would like to do after my degree. So it's not really like it has to be part of it now, because I know it will be part of my life in the future. So for me, it was just a way to pursue my passion and like have this one module. I remember like we had documentary filmmaking the whole day on Thursdays, and for me it was like, finally Thursday, like I love this day, I'm gonna spend the whole day like editing and like filming, and that was like, I don't know, the highlight of my week. So yeah,
I can relate to that a lot. I mean, I felt exactly the same way as you. Like it was such a relief from everything else we were doing. And yeah, I wish you all the best of luck with finishing university, and I really hope you make more films, because you guys really have a talent for it. And yeah, I wish you the best of luck, and go ahead and film on. And yeah,
thank you so much.
So do I. Lots of
thank you so much for the very nice session. Sorry, I interrupted you. What were you saying?
Well, I was saying I thought you were leaving, right? No?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I was saying just goodbye, and that I wish you lots of creativity in your future.
Yes. And come, if you're in Trieste, come to Krško in Slovenia anytime you want during our workshops. We have just a shout out, we have a documentary film workshop every summer for 2 weeks for free, you know, so check that out next summer if you're around in Trieste. Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's really cool.
Yeah. It's very good. Yeah. We'll be in touch.
I think the girls said everything already. I just have 2 words for you before leaving. So just stay resilient. I mean, it's what we need most. So thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much, guys. Really.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Ciao.
Ciao.
Okay. So I have, on the topic of resilience, as Shrivelin just mentioned, nice segue. I actually had a question for everyone about this art of resilience. So what did you personally learn about resilience from your artist, which could be useful for people in these chaotic times that we're living in now, this coronavirus pandemic climate? So yeah, so Nico, maybe you have an answer for me.
I didn't understand.
Oh, sorry. So we were talking about resilience, you know, so the topic of tonight is the art of resilience. So what did you learn about resilience from your artist, which could be useful for others and for your own life, you know, living through such turbulent times, such as now? Do you want me to explain a little bit more what I meant?
No, I'm just thinking.
Okay, no worries.
I wouldn't have something precisely to say about, but I learned in Dario about how he lives life, like how he gives everything to, and how he lives every day like 100%. And but when you said the strange time we live in, actually it was before the pandemic, so it's not related.
Yes. But now that we're living through these pandemic times, we're going through some struggles, some turbulence, some difficulties. Everyone is struggling with differences in their life. So what did he teach you about this resilience and being strong, you know, that you can take?
I don't know. I would say like to believe in the things you do and give all the energy, but it was actually what I was trying to do doing this movie actually. And so I don't know if I can say, if I have to say I learned it from Dario, but I learned from everyone I met, and this just doesn't come just from Dario. I mean,
okay, yes, yeah. I mean, for me personally, the Dario's character showed to me the benefits of being having perseverance and continuing to do what you love and what, no matter what cost. Like, you know, like these days people may be dropping their passions because they seem like, you know, not important, but I think actually now we need art, we need creative minds more than ever, and this perseverance, this dedication, this passion can really show some resilience.
Yeah, we need this more than ever, but at the same time, it's the moment where it's becoming even more difficult than it was before to live with it. Like, I don't know the situation in every country. In France, like, I feel like the culture is not, it used to, like, everything just stopped somehow, and it's getting more difficult from now. So at the same time, we are like a generation who wants to live his passion from the heart of doing what he wants instead of doing like a bullshit job or something. And at the same time, it's like there's no future at all, and we cannot live from it. So what was said before, that the heart is healing, sometimes maybe it's just the answer, like try not to live with it, but just live it. Like
And I have a question. Have you been able to keep up with your art during this pandemic and quarantine and everything, with your filmmaking art?
Yeah, I did a lot of filmmaking during the pandemic, actually. We have 3 roommates. One is actor, the other is doing music. So we were like always filming and doing things. So that's why I didn't manage to do the other project I had, but I did other crazy things. So yeah.
You see. So you know, it may stunt the ability to live off the art, but it does. This particular situation can arise a lot of different artistic endeavors, and I think it's amazing.
So if I can jump in with the question now that the pandemic was mentioned, how did the state? So I believe you're currently staying in France, right? So like what was any political solution to or like any measures that were taken to help the culture industry, or in particular maybe filmmaking industry?
Yeah, not so much actually. I will have a lot to say. Yeah, there was a lot of funds to the hospital, to the culture, to no, it's not the case. Actually, there was fund for the police, for for more video vigilance. I don't know the exact word, but like. I'm not so much good thing to say about the state response. Like somehow this pandemic shows the real face of the things, and we realize the priorities, and the priorities is not like living; it's just working, and it will take a lot of time to explain all of this. But yeah. The state response in France, I will only criticize it somehow.
Yeah, I believe that most of the states kind of reacted the same way.
Yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. So maybe to the other guests, this question about resilience. So what did you learn about resilience from your artist that could be of use in these times?
Well, I guess that for all of our all of them, the artists in our video, we learned to stay strong, to just keep on doing what you love, or what you feel like you have to do, what your inside you tells you to do, in a way, even if it's even if you can't live with that, but it's just because it makes you feel better. So because of the healing part of the of making art, then I mean, they were all different, because Kia, for example, doesn't live with her art, and so she just does it to free herself, while Alexander lives from his art, but mostly of his art is paid from outside of Serbia. But and he says that he lives in Serbia just because of an economical reason, because it's cheaper than living somewhere else, you know. So it's also a matter of reality, of like putting things like, okay, I have this idea, but everything then must be put on earth, back on earth, and so that you can face reality and start dealing with that, you know, deal with the reality. So on one way, I mean, I'm really happy that they're still doing their art, and then I don't know, Dusan is very hopeful about the future, for example, as a person, while in this time it's really hard to be optimistic. But I guess that what I've learned the most is just to do what you feel like what's inside you, basically.
Excellent comments. Stella, do you have anything to add?
No. Nicely said, Elena.
Actually, on the topic of your movie, I meant to ask this question earlier. So you talked about Marina Abramovic, and that was your inciting motive to travel to Belgrade. Why did, and I know that you shot at this exhibition, why did you decide not to include Marina Abramovic in the final movie?
Stella, you reply.
I think you can say more, because you were still in Slovenia when I don't know, there were some you showed the video before we finished it to other people, and they gave some tips. Do you say it? Tips, yeah. And so we decided to leave it out because it's a bit too much. It was too much. Another topic, another person, and we didn't have an introduction for her, so we just left her out.
I guess I think that it's because we didn't want to make a video about Marina and about her exhibition, but we wanted to, but we used the idea in the beginning was to use her exhibition in Belgrade to start exploring the artistic panorama in Serbia. So in the beginning we wanted to include her because she said she said so she made some statements about artists in Serbia and artists in general that we felt like could like separate the video in chapters, but in the end it felt like Marina was the god who was like giving people advices or telling stuff how they were, so that her opinion was more relevant than the people that we actually interviewed. So in the end we decided to cut it out and to just just simply not use it in the video itself. And I mean, it's good that Marina is a person from Serbia, from Belgrade, that it's known worldwide, but it's not just her.
Very important to say, yeah, it's not just her, it's also many other artists. But do you agree with Marina's statement that, and you know, she had to leave Serbia to become a famous artist? Do you think that it's possible these days to stay in Serbia and become a great artist?
Yes, I mean, it's a different time, so yes, because yeah, globalization.
Yeah, especially, I mean, because of internet. But
Yeah.
I think it's hard and simple in the same way for everyone, because it's not just about the art, but it's also about selling the art. Yeah, so it's about networking and
Alexander, you can see that it's working. He's selling not in Serbia maybe, but somewhere else. So,
but he is a Serbian artist.
It was different, and it was Yugoslavia and not a country. So,
and also Dusan is collaborating with a lot of artists, because he's a sculptor. So, and he makes sculptures also for other artists. So.
Thank you very much for your answers. And yeah, it's good to hear that you disagree with or that you think things have changed since Marina's comment about having to leave Serbia.
And I have another question for Nico, and then I'm slowly going to start running out of the questions. Basically, you mentioned before that during the pandemic, actually you were creative, maybe even more. So I was wondering, what kind of topics are you addressing now, or what kind of topics are you interested to work with them in the future?
Actually, I'm into a documentary that I've been editing from a long time now about the male football World Cup final that was France against Croatia. And I asked people to shoot it in different places of the world. And thanks to the International Documentary Workshop in Krško, I met people that could film in like a lot of countries. So I have the footage from 11 different countries, and I'm trying to figure out how to make a movie with that. And it's been a lot of time I'm doing this, and I'm still about this reflection about sports and politics and the mediatization and this subject that I've been studying before with my geography thesis. And at the same time, I want to open to new projects, but it's been a while since I want to finish this one before going to other subject. I have always ideas that comes, and even a character that I met in Krško in the first workshop. Somehow I still want to make a documentary with him, also about football, because he's a hooligan of the Split football team. Still, I have this idea to go to the stadium with him. I have a lot of different ideas. Somehow I have so much that I don't know if it's true and it's doable when I have a new idea. And also the Naples movie, the first idea was to make a movie with different characters that will just crisscross, like I said before. And I still have this project in mind. And so it depends. I also sometimes participate in fictional movie. I help some friends and things like that. And I don't go with a special topic. I see how it evolves. That's what it is.
Yeah, we wish you lots of creativity in the future.
Thank you.
And speaking about creativity, future and time, I'm also here to tell you that linear time is faster than we think. It happens all the time, and we've been here for quite a while. I mean, I think we could be chatting for a long time, but still, I think we need to let our viewers, reflect everything that's been said. And also this session is actually recorded, so it's going to be available online, so you can always share it with your friends, family, or if you know anyone who would like to watch it, or you rewatch it, you know, this is also possible. But okay, thank you so much to like everyone who's been involved in any, like all of your filmmaking processes, and also special thanks to you guys who took time and chatted with us tonight. Thank you very much. And like, because the topic is art of resilience, I really hope that your art, you know, will stay resilient, but more importantly, you will stay resilient despite all the craziness that's going around in this world of ours. But yeah, oh, I forgot to tell you also that all the movies that were premiered tonight, and also everything that was premiered since the beginning of the festival, is available on our YouTube channel as well until the end of the festival. So you can always, so you can watch the movies again as well. Oh, and now the quick program scan for tomorrow. I mean, you've probably heard that Friday is usually, you know, the big night of the week, and we're kind of following this social trend here at Luksuz Produkti as well, because tomorrow we actually are doubling our content. So we are coming at you with 2 live Q&As, and the topics are actually connected because we are going to be discussing the dimensions of political in our lives. So actually something that you know, we all can relate to. And we're starting a bit earlier also because the program is longer. So we will premiere the movies of first section called Personal is Still Political at 6:30 on our YouTube channel. And then at 7 o'clock, we are meeting here on our Facebook to discuss everything. And like all of the movies there are actually personal story of female directors. So some like women power right there. And then we go back to YouTube and watch another section called Engage Observers at 8 o'clock. And it's about social, it's actually all of them are kind of reflecting on the protest movements that are going on around Europe. And then we come back here at 9 and discuss that as well. So it's gonna be quite a wild Friday night, but you know, if we can't go out, we can like hang out online. So get some snacks ready, and yeah, just be prepared for everything that's coming. Yeah, and also, yeah, don't forget to follow us on Facebook and Instagram and give us your feedback, opinion, whatever. We are more than always super happy when somebody is involved. So hop on our digital train. But yeah, thank you again for everyone coming. Thank you to Natasha and Leia for like asking the questions.
Very much.
Yeah, and actually tomorrow we will be joined by Elena and Nico with 2 of other films that they have entered to our festival. So we'll see you guys tomorrow as well.
Yes, see you tomorrow.
Yeah, see you
Thank
tomorrow.
you very much.
Have a good
Thank
night.
you.
Ciao.
And Lua.
Yeah.
Ciao Lua. Ciao Lua. Ciao.